Hey everybody, this is John from ourhomefromscratch.com, and this is a video on my latest set of woodworking plans. So this video is kind of designed to do two things: just let you know that I finished the plans and they're available, and also to show you how to use them since it's in Excel, and I just wanted to be a little helpful with this discussion here. So let me show you what the plans are about. So it's the home office built-ins, and that consists of an upper cabinet and a lower cabinet. And if you've been following our blog or seen any of our videos, then you know this is our home office. This is actually where I'm recording this right now. Do a little screencast here, just going to show you what we're doing. So these cabinets, the plans will help you reproduce these. And in our office, we built two of them, but there's a lower cabinet and an upper cabinet. And this is this post we have from last year when we introduced these. They have also got a little desk in the middle. But anyway, the cabinets, basically there's a lower cabinet and it has inset cabinet doors. They're shaker doors. It's got a plain front drawer, and the face frame contains a bead detail. It's also wrapped by some 5 1/4 inch baseboard molding. Above that is a piece of oak plywood wrapped in hard oak hardwood, and then it's been stained. The upper cabinet, again, just a couple boards, the two style boards in this top rail also have that bead detail, and then there's some adjustable shelves in here. This is what the plans will recreate for you. So here's the Excel file. Now to get this file, you have to be basically a subscriber to our site. It's free to do that. These plans don't cost you anything. All you got to do is, if you see this video on YouTube and you want these plans, go ahead and follow the link in the description of this video, or you can just go to ourhomefromscratch.com and look for the sign up. All you have to do is give us your email and you'll be set. So let's just I want to walk through how these plans work, since they're in Excel, and there's just a lot of info on this main sheet. So it's several different worksheets. So if you look at the bottom, every worksheet tab is kind of another major phase or step in this process. It's not a hard set of plans. It's not a terribly difficult cabinets to build, but it is pretty detailed. So I made this customizable. Excuse me. Here's the lower cabinet. So when you first look at this, what you really want to do is enter or change any of the yellow values. So those are the values that are tunable for you in your project. So the lower cabinet, width, height, and depth. And just to show what I mean by that, let's take a look at this lower cabinet. This is the width, this is the height, and the depth is back to the wall. And for this particular cabinet, I believe I have the values set in here from when I first did this, at least for the lower cabinet. Yep. So the depth of my cabinet, my office, is 18 inches. The height's 35, and the width is about 35 inches. I've also included the upper shelving. All right. So the upper shelving it's the exact same width as the lower one. The height's a little different because we ended up building what do they call that? A box above the cabinets. Soffit box where this cabinet intersects with. There's a bunch of trim up there, but the depth is also 12. So this height you'd want to tweak. But anyway, once you plug in your values, you want to look at your combined height and see if that's where you want it. So if you don't have a soffit, you just want this to go right to the ceiling, then you could kind of tune these values over here to drive this combined height dimension. This doesn't include the height of the crown molding, which is what we have on these cabinets. So there's a little strip. Well, actually, this cabinet actually ends right where this piece of molding is, and then there's the soffit. But if you wanted to include, say, crown molding above this, then you'd have to just kind of play around with the height dimension here. Also, so once you figure out your dimensions, it asks you, do you want a beaded face frame? And that's yes or no. It's a drop-down menu, and the dimensions change depending upon if you want to do the bead. The box construction. Do you want to put this together with grooves and dados, or do you want to just use pocket screws, depending upon your skill level or just what you prefer doing? And again, the dimensions will self-adjust. So we did ours with a beaded face frame, and I assembled my boxes with dados. The bead width. So this is a set value. It's 5/16 of an inch, and this corresponds to, if you look at a groove or the bead you'd put on a style board using a 1/8 inch radius beading bit, you actually get a 5/16 inch wide total channel. So from this little point here over to this far edge, that hole width is 5/16 of an inch, and you need to know that when you go and dimension your board. So we've already included that for you, and there's a little note down here that says for beaded face frames you need a beading bit, and it was put together using a 1/8 inch radius beading bit. I'm going to have links to all the parts I use for this, at least for all the tooling parts. But if you were to use, so the point of this little box here is if you wanted to use something other than a 1/8 inch beading bit, which is the diameter of this guy here, you'd have to use, you'd have to change this bead width. So if you went with a 1/4 inch, then this 5/16 inch would change. The back strap setback. So first of all, if you want to familiarize yourself with this project and know what exactly I'm talking about, you can you read this post here. I'll have a link to this as well. But let me show you what this is. The back strap, it was when we did the countertops, my countertop approach. I'll pull this post up. I'll have a link to all this stuff. But when I put the cabinet together, there's a top strap and a back strap. And you can see there's a little gap back there between the back edge of the cabinet box and this support strap. And that gap is a 1/4 inch. All right, so a 1/4 inch plus this 3/4 inch piece of scrap plywood gives you an inch away from the back. And so that's, anyway, so back strap setback. So if you wanted to change this value, if you wanted to have a greater setback, a 1/2 inch, inch, whatever you wanted to do, you'd have to change that here. But I'd recommend 1/4 inch. If you wanted something greater, really for scribing purposes, but 1/4 inch work for us. Cabinet depth. So this is calculated, and the drawer runner part number is also calculated. So once you put in your dimensions, it tells you what Bloom Tandem, or the Bloom Tandem Blue Motion drawer part number you need to order, and you can order this on Amazon.com. So once you have those set, these tables down here spit out all your parts. So all these get calculated based upon whatever you entered here. So it's sort of an intelligent worksheet, right? So this is your hardwood parts list for your lower cabinet, your upper cabinet, your countertop, and then you have your plywood parts list for your lower, upper, and countertop as well. And then drawer parts. The drawer parts are set based on whatever depth you picked for the lower cabinet. So as long as you set that lower cabinet depth, that'll adjust automatically. It'll pick the dimensions, and it'll also recommend a part number for you. Pretty cool. So you want to just go through the instructions. This basically tells you go ahead and change the values, and then you're good to go. You're going to need to take all these parts lists and come up with your own cut sheet. So this worksheet does not do that, but you can go to Optimalon.com, which I mentioned over here in this text. You can basically put these parts in and come up with your own cut sheets. Anyway, so just go through the procedures. It shows you how to add the beading and the notching for the beaded face frame if you do that, or you can skip that step and go right to the face frame build, through the door construction, cabinet boxes, assembly, stacks. So you want to go through all these little worksheets, and it tells you basically how to put this together. But the most important thing here is to watch the video. There's a video I did on how to build the doors, build the cabinet box. Let's see, this is the DIY built-in cabinets and beaded face frame. Watch that video. Watch the video on the shaker cabinet doors. So I'll have links to all that stuff. But anyway, I just want to let you know that these plans are available. I know people have been asking for them. It's a cool little project. Adds a lot of value. It's a great office built-in cabinet. We really like how they look in here. And you can paint it, stain it, do whatever you want to do. But anyway, it's there on our plans page. Again, subscribe to get access to that. If you're already a subscriber, then you'll get an email from me shortly with the link to get these plans. All right. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments or shoot me an email. Have a great day. See you later.